All right, welcome to the post show for episode number 34.
34.
30
horror more
Dirty
weeks.
horror indeed.
4 more weeks.
So, I think you just found the name of the episode.
4 more weeks.
You're welcome. Anyway, thank you guys for your support on Patreon, of course. We do this after show for you as a way to say thank you and as a way to give you a little bit of extra time with the LBR crew. And so let's talk about the show today. It was a very lively show.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that we were a smaller crew today.
Yeah.
Our hangers-on decided that they didn't need to hang on this week.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was definitely like anytime. Like you obviously have a really good dynamic with Callow, and you tend to carry a lot of the conversation on the show. I feel like so. There's a little bit of a void when you get in here this week, and me and Juxta come in. We're like, all right, well, we're probably gonna have to talk a bit more this week. But I thought it was really good. I thought we had a lot of good interplay.
No, I think I absolutely agree. You guys stepped in and filled the role. I don't think that the energy dropped down for a moment. It was definitely really good.
It was fun. It was different too.
It was. It had a different dynamic. Kahlo definitely brings a lot to the table in terms of crafting conversation and humor and jokes. And when he's not there, I think you can definitely feel that. But it's nice to know that you guys are talented enough to be able to identify that and know how to respond and in your own way. Not because you're not trying to imitate Kahlo.
No.
You're doing what you do, as performers and as hosts, yourself.
We're filling the void that Kahlo left, but we're not trying to be Kahlo.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you can't do that.
And notice how there's no mention of Nika in here as well.
Who?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, that.
You mean that
Rogan that
right.
male Rogan?
Yeah. The one that adds all of the extra noise on the show.
It's like a lot
the
of
Skype line.
Yeah, it's a lot of white noise.
Yeah.
We love you,
Where did we
Nika.
get him?
We do love you, Nika. Somewhere.
We're kidding.
No,
we're kidding. We don't love him.
But yeah, no. I mean Nika too. I honestly, when she's gone, you really feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We lose
Suddenly
a
no one's
degree of
cleared A1
expertise.
Savage, and
Yeah.
we're just like, oh. We look kind of scrubby, apparently.
But I don't think the nice part is about that little stomper call is that he didn't invalidate it. He didn't try to say, your criticism is invalid because you haven't cleared A1S.
Right.
He said, well, you guys said make it hard, and they did, and you haven't even tried it, and I gotta call you out on that. That's valid.
That's legit criticism.
I gotta say that took a lot of the anger. That took a lot of the anger out of my salt sales.
You were waiting on that call and like ready to go, and he said that, and the look on your face was like, oh no, a legitimate point.
God damn it!
Shit! He's not
just
a troll.
wanted
He
anger.
thought it out.
Just wanted anger. That's all I wanted. I wanted blind rage. And
It's all we ever
I
want.
know. Why do we never get it? Our listeners are too damn smart.
It's true.
No, but all credit to Little Stopper. That was a good call.
It was.
And
He came to that one ready to go because after his email,
I know.
but he did say he was drunk as shit when he wrote it.
Yeah.
So,
No, but that was fun fucking with him.
Yeah, it was.
I love fucking with people when they're on the phone, and I wish you would fuck with people with drops more often on the phone.
Yeah, well, on the phone or on the line or
whenever. Yeah, when they're on the because they can hear that shit.
Yeah, well, that's just like they usually don't really open themselves up. They're usually cogent callers with a good point or like a legitimate question. It's like I don't really want to be mean to those people, unless they have like a weird point or something.
I know. I mean, it's easy when it's Robert.
Well, yeah, I mean Robert. There was
geez.
something with Skype, I wasn't getting notifications of people trying to call in.
Interesting.
I was getting notifications of people trying to call in through Skype, but not through landlines. But I would get the notification afterwards. It's like, oh, this person tried to call you. I'm like,
Well, that's helpful.
yeah.
Well, that's really concerning, considering the interviewee is calling us
Oh yeah. Oh.
for the interview on Wednesday.
I guess it's
so
a good thing that happened.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll do a little
Look into
testing of that.
Yeah. Great calls.
We had tons of calls.
Juxta, yeah, you gave me a figure after we wrapped up the show that absolutely staggered me. So why don't you share it with?
There was at least 13 to 15 other people that wanted to call in that we just didn't have time for.
That we just didn't have time for. We were at 3 hours and 10 minutes when we stopped the show.
There was Ryuichi that wanted to get in there. There was Adamus that wanted to call in. Let's see. There was Marcus from Sergeant Tannis that wanted to call. There was a lot of people. Lauro Felix wanted to call in, and we just didn't have time. I mean, I was trying to pop in the color after each email, like we did last time, and try to get as many as we could. But there was a lot of people this time.
Oh,
Well,
man.
it's like we came into the show today in a smaller cast, kind of thinking it'd be a quicker episode. We had emails and phonefuls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just once again, nope, it's gonna be another 3-hour episode. It's gonna be good stuff all the way through.
And that's the thing. And like, I sort of feel like we run the show until we run out of stuff. Like, like some people criticize the length of our show and say that like a podcast should really only be an hour and a half, even if you're doing a talk format like that and you're wasting time and all of that. And I don't agree. I feel like we take the show, until we start to kind of run out of momentum, and then we wrap it up. Like,
Take the show to its conclusion.
Yeah.
We don't just end the race.
Right, exactly. And so, it's kind of arbitrary too. People say that, an hour and a half, like you shouldn't do more than an hour and a half. What the fuck
How
are
did you get to that number exactly?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and it's not, like we're talking like podcasters and industry insiders. Like most people are afraid of long form content these days. Because they all say, people will only consume it in huge quantities, if it's 10 minutes long, 12 minutes long. And I mean, yeah, sometimes when you're talking about a YouTube video, sometimes
there's a degree of truth.
There is a degree of truth. It depends on the content.
Yeah.
It depends on the content and the context. Like
the context of the content.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Because, like, when you watch a YouTube video, like, you're get to the point because I got shit to do.
Right.
But when you're going into a podcast, you're expecting a big, meaty thing.
Right.
So it's easy to digest
Which
a
is why-
3-hour podcast.
Which is why I don't think we have a gigantic YouTube audience.
Right,
It only makes sense. Like we put those up on YouTube as just a way to kind of diversify the content and allow avenues for people to find us easier.
Right.
If you're not on YouTube, anyone who's looking up FF14 podcasts on YouTube is guaranteed to not find your content.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you want to be there for people who are looking to find stuff for the first time. It's
As a gateway.
Yeah.
We're a gateway drug on YouTube.
Well,
So you get the big LBR heroin hits.
our
From a legal
content
perspective, I wouldn't say that, but sure, yeah.
on YouTube, I guess we could probably do a better job at cutting up our shows on YouTube and like highlighting specific themed segments or specific discussions and putting those out as their own video. But I don't know that
So
that
most
would
of
be
the time, though, our
better.
conversation kind of bounces around and then gets back to
It does.
It brings it all back together. I don't know if we could do that. effectively.
I think that the audience is pretty happy with weekly 3-hour-long shows.
How many emails do we get of people saying, "Hey, I listened to your show on my way into work, and I listened to it throughout the week," or "Hey, I work at my job and I can listen to stuff, but I can't play anything, so I just listen to it during my morning shift."
That's why our podcast numbers vastly outweigh everything else. Like our traffic mostly comes through the podcast.
Yeah.
And like when we invested in upgrades to the website, I mean that's really the core of the reason why. A lot of other podcasts, excuse me, because they come from different mediums, say, I'll mention State of the Realm because I don't think Mr. Happy would be really like embarrassed or put on the spot by me saying this, but Mr. Happy has a pretty significant YouTube audience already.
Yes.
And so is able to play on that when trying to pivot some ears and eyes to State of the Realm.
I imagine he does a little of his podcast with how is this going to look on YouTube in mind.
Exactly. Whereas how to look on YouTube is very much an afterthought for our show.
Right.
People have asked, I've seen questions in the chat, like when we do Final Encounter, like why don't they ever do this for Limit Break Radio, like have the cameras up and stuff like that, and it's really because Limit Break Radio is at its core a podcast. It's not a Twitch stream, even though we stream it on Twitch. It's not a YouTube video, even though it's a presence on YouTube. It is at its core a podcast. Twitch allows it to be interactive, which is very, very fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
And brings a really unique quality to the show, and and also an avenue that we're really thankful that we're able to monetize as well.
Yeah.
But it's not really the core of our content like it would be the core of Mr. Happy's content. And similarly, like on the podcasting end, other podcasts who, they're small. They have smaller audience sizes. We'll use services like Libsyn or Blueberry or whatever to host and distribute their files, so they don't have to have as big of a consideration for things like bandwidth and memory usage on the server like we do. Mm-hmm. So our in terms of our product, we feel like hosting it ourselves is the best way to deliver it to you. It's how we've done it since the beginning, and it's how we want to continue to do it. And and mostly because we retain all of that data. You know what I mean? Like if we were to offload our content to Libsyn, if something happened to Libsyn and then we couldn't access our content, it's just gone. That would be bad. Yeah. Or if we got copyright strikes on YouTube and got our account closed, we would be very much beholden to YouTube. But because our content is so diverse. Like, I mean, honestly, again, we really appreciate Twitch and their opportunity to allow us to monetize there, but we could be doing the same thing at YouTube Gaming. Like, we don't necessarily need any of these additional avenues like other podcasts need to maintain positive relationships with those avenues, or else they lose their audience.
Yeah, because like if Twitch went down, if YouTube went down,
exactly,
we could still make LBR and produce it and send it out through iTunes, or even iTunes went down.
Yeah,
we would still have
Stitcher, LimitBreakRadio.com. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We control all of that, and that's something that's really important to us. And
now the question is, if DreamHost goes down, are we screwed then?
A little bit, but
yes.
Yeah.
Yes is the short answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like all of those sites that were at GeoCities. They would just disappear. I'm sure they would let us know. I'm sure they wouldn't just. I'm sure they're not just some fly-by-night operation that'll just pull the cord and be like,
oh, bye.
Bye. See ya.
Well, we ran out of money this week. We need more pizza. Sorry, pull the cord.
Like 9-year relationship with that site is
we're solid.
Yeah, we're definitely solid. But I mean that is it's I mentioned that because that's something that your support helps us be able to provide for you. The new website, the improved website, as well as the ability to distribute our content. Your support allows us to be able to do that, or else we would be reliant on some kind of service like Libsyn or I can't think of any other podcast platforming.
Long story short, we hate relying on things.
Yeah.
We'll do it ourselves.
DIY. And you allow us to do that.
So thank you.
Yeah.
From the bottom of our hearts.
And so I think like the emails that we read today were literally every email that we got this week. Like
yes.
all of the old emails that we didn't get to from the last episode, we also didn't get to.
Still there.
Yeah. Still didn't get to.
Still on the stack.
So that's good. I'm glad that we were able. I'm glad that we were able to at least keep that stack the same size as opposed to
making it grow.
Yeah.
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 Well, we got through our funnfuls and our fapping the realms. And,
something like we didn't really have a lot of content this week besides the emails, but that segment, the no breaking music and the funnfuls, that took us through an hour of the show.
I know, right?
I kept track of it, and I was like,
once we got,
we're not gonna have a problem.
once we got through limit breaking music, it was like, oh yeah, this will be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like we went through all the basics.
That's why I put it first. Like normally in this, it would kind of be structured at the end. It would be like a nice breather at the end.
Yeah.
But I put it first as a way to kind of like wanted to like set the mood for this episode.
Well, yeah. Once like
LBR and chill.
Yeah.
we get through like all our updates and stuff.
I see what you did there.
There
That
you
took
go.
me a second. That was nice. That was nice.
Blah.
Oh man. No, I don't do that. I don't do that shit.
Did good for you.
I don't do that
That's
shit.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, once we got through that first hour or so, we're just finished up limit breaking music, and it's just like, oh no, we're good.
Yeah, we're
like,
fine.
And by that point, we had like 4 or 5 callers lined up.
In the queue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna like progress to the first few. And then once that first caller hit, then just like a flood.
Oh my god.
That's fantastic. I'm really glad, and I really hope that you guys are gonna get into stump the crew next week.
Yeah.
We're really excited. We've not really put a whole lot of thought into this game, and so you.
Sell it hard,
Aniero.
No,
Sell it hard.
I'm just saying, like we kind of just spitballed this idea because like we're not really getting anything out of Square Enix. I thought at least in these in this big spans of time that they would give us, that they would be telling us some shit, that they would be outlining some
At
stuff.
least like a little tidbit every week.
Exactly. Like I thought at least in these couple of weeks that they would have outlined the airship system on the lodestone
Yes.
or something. And that's why I'm saying like now that we're only 4 weeks out, if they're gonna reveal anything, it's gonna be details about that system, and it's not gonna be Hildebrand. I'm sorry. I have this bet won. I have it won.
I'm sorry, it's not gonna.
I have it won.
I'm
It's
not-
just admit it.
I'm not so on the bet, but I am certain we're not gonna get any more information on Sky. We're just not going to. That's what we got, and that's everything Square Enix is gonna tell us until 3.1 hits.
You think because
Unless we get like full patch notes like the weekend before, that's everything we know about Sky.
you think?
Yeah, I'm positive.
I don't know, because
How much do we know about hunts?
we at least had gotten the screenshot of the hunt bills, and they had outlined
That's
a
it.
little bit. It was like a paragraph.
That's
That's all we're gonna get about it,
that's.
and it's gonna be disappointing. It's gonna be. I know exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be that form. It's like where it says like the necessary eye level to participate. It's gonna be in question marks, right? And then there's gonna be a paragraph underneath it. There's gonna be one little screenshot that we're gonna blow up.
The quest that you need to complete.
Exactly.
And it's gonna be triple question mark.
Yes.
To prevent spoilers.
Yes, exactly. That's all we're gonna get. That's the only thing we're gonna get.
And
But
it's
that's
gonna-
all.
And it's gonna tell you how many Aether currents are gonna be in there.
Yes.
And you're gonna have question marks.
Exactly.
To prevent spoilers.
Exactly. So, since we're 4 weeks out, that's the only information that we're gonna get.
No.
And there's gonna be no room for
Nope.
no Hildebrand.
Nope.
No, none. I'm
The fate in that dumb foreign place is gonna give us the Hildebrand spoiler.
wait, what?
There's a fate, like the weekend before the
Oh, the live
first
fate.
live fate.
Okay. You gotta be.
We're gonna
I'm like a fate.
In a
Dumb
foreign
fate.
place.
I haven't done a fate since level 35. What the
last-
fuck are you talking about?
My last fate was to open Crystal Tower.
No, literally the last fate that I did was to the 18th floor. That was it. That's the only fate
Oh,
that I've
yeah,
done
that's
within
that
any.
fate.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright.
So yeah, we
I
hope that you guys call in those numbers next week. So that was great, and we're sorry that we didn't get to more people than we got to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's good and bad.
It's good and bad. We feel really bad for the people that we didn't get to, and we would we want you to keep calling. We want you to call back, and I mean.
And I feel bad every time I have to tell people, like, people call in or, like, message in, like 30 minutes before, like, we're wrapping up the show, and I'm like, I'm sorry, we're running long, we gotta kind of end the show, I mean, please come back next time.
A lot of times, man, people's calls will take up to, like, 15 minutes at a time, Like, they've got stuff that they want to say, and I don't want to be like, hurry the fuck up, but, like...
people want to talk to.
They want their moment, and I want to give them their moment. And it's not, I don't want to have to do like, the rapid fire thing or like get to the point or be a dick about it. You know.
Juxta, how do you like being the quest giver NPC that everyone has to spam to get on the show?
That's good. I like that.
I'll tell you one thing. Like, when Kahlo's not here and Nika isn't here to fill the void, and it's just us three, it's hard managing like 18 Skype windows and trying to do drops.
Homie, there were no drops. Like,
I know, I'm
almost
sorry.
dropless this episode.
I could not get to drops because I was doing
you were
the calls, man.
You were overwhelmed.
I know.
You're gonna be overwhelmed next week, man, because we're gonna have
Oh my God,
It's gonna be.
I have to think of some system of
Yeah.
figuring that out. I think this is what I'm picturing in my head. I don't know how well it'll work out, but as people like message in about like wanting to do a trivia thing, I'm just gonna type a number in there so I can like keep track of where I am. So 1, 2, 3, and just go down the line. That's what I'm. That's my initial thought. I don't know how well it's gonna work out.
We'll see.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
It's
some
a
brain
big
down.
experiment. Like we've never tried anything like this before.
This could probably just blow up.
Oh,
Like that
this
awful
could This
contest.
could be a disaster.
Everyone just starts spamming numbers, and if you get the number, then you win.
Yeah.
Oh, great. That guy got it, I guess. Actually, that guy up there got it. Oh, all right, that guy up there, you
Yeah,
get
I
it.
know,
Like,
yeah,
you don't
no.
get it. Ha ha.
Looking back on
dick.
it, we should have just said like to the very first guy who said number, like he got it on the first one.
Wow, good job.
Holy shit!
What a chance.
We should have done that.
Oh god, that would have been such a dick move.
That's so good.
Oh, it would have been such a dick move. Oh.
Guys, I got a really
They wouldn't have
good idea.
known.
They wouldn't have known.
I got a good idea for a contest. Right?
I like this.
Be the fastest to type a number. Any number.
Literally make those assholes that spam first on YouTube comments.
Ha!
Possible
Finally, you have your
answers
place.
could be
Actually,
three
we
or
could-
5.
We could do a contest like the first to hit our chat with to hit our chat with a number. They literally have to say the
A
words
number.
a number instead of hitting a number. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, dude,
I love it.
That's a dick move. Such a dick
Now the Patriots have a leg up.
They'll know what to do.
I know.
I think like if we go back a year right now,
Yeah.
and like when we were first talking about taking the show weekly,
Yep.
I think this period of time is exactly what we were afraid of.
Oh,
back then.
yeah.
Is that we would hit a period like this where we were kind of burned out on the game because there was nothing going on,
Yep.
and we weren't getting the updates we needed. We were like afraid to take the show weekly because of that. And I think that's why in 4 weeks, when that all comes out, we're going to look back on these 7 weeks as like one of our crowning achievements of a time when we managed to stay entertaining despite SE giving us nothing.
Absolutely, and staying relevant too.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of staying relevant inside the community and continuing to generate conversation and discussion. Because we upset some people and
Oh,
that,
did we? Have we done that?
That
Once or
happens.
twice.
But you know what? No one stops talking about us. No one stops talking about us.
We upset Stomper, but
Yeah, he's still a fan.
He's a
You
fan.
know what? No, I gotta give Stomper all the credit because
You came at him pretty hard.
I know I did. It was he held his own.
we did.
He held his ground. He called us out, and he was fair about it.
And I came at him with like a bunch of drops too.
I know.
Yeah, like, your job was like you were a dick with them too.
Yeah.
And that was good. I like that. That was very funny. And
No, he was legit.
no, yeah, he definitely. I gotta give him all the fucking credit in the world.
We give our fan base credit a lot, and it's shit like that's the reason why.
Yeah, totally. Because you know why? Because it's not like the thing that I have the problem with are these little shitty pansies on Twitter that talk shit about us and then block us from seeing any of their tweets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You fucking coward son of a bitch. Like, why? There's a group of them. There's like 7 or 8 of them, and I think they're all on shitty Balmung. and you know what? Just fuck you.
I'll
I
bet
don't
you 2
give
of them
a-
are Patreons.
I don't give. Really?
I'll bet you 2 of them are Patreons.
Fine. Good. I hope you see this.
2
Fuck
of,
you.
them are, 2 of them are fans of the show, but their friends aren't, and they're just like forced to go along with it. They're like, fuck. Yeah, they suck. I hate them. And that's why they're actually blocking you, because like, oh, please don't see this.
They don't want to deal with our ire.
Yeah.
The problem is though is that it still gets back to
No,
us.
we know.
Yeah.
I know.
We have birds that chirp
Exactly.
in our
Yes.
ears.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
someone else who we're following retweets you, we see it.
Dumb idiots. Whatever.
Oh, God.
People like and again like I'm glad that we had a chance to talk about that on the show because like Square Enix is in the same dilemma where they've got a lot of feedback that's coming at them from all angles and sometimes they listen to the wrong shit.
Yeah.
They do. They listen to the wrong shit or the dumb shit. And you know what? It's okay to like let some of the criticism roll off your back. It's okay to let some people get pissed. It's okay to let some of your fan base be disappointed. Just don't let it be us.
Yeah,
anymore.
just
like,
not be us
stop, 'cause
anymore.
we're right.
Yeah.
Remember? We're
Yeah.
smart.
Come
I
on.
feel for SE because I've been in the corporate structure, and it's like when someone, like when you start getting feedback from customers, someone above your head
Yeah.
sees that feedback and is like expects you to deal with it.
No, you're right.
And I know that has to happen to Yoshi.
But at the same time, though, like game media and game developers have had this really kind of cozy relationship for a very long time, and I don't think that game media has really ever gotten to the point of true criticism. I mean, like maybe in pockets.
No.
It just doesn't. I'm so disappointed in game critics, and it's not like
Ever since the days of X-Play and shit like that,
yeah.
game media has been the most bought and paid for journalism in the world. It
Yeah,
always
and
has
to
been.
call it journalism
Is a
does journalism a disservice.
Yeah.
Because like it's not journalism when so much of your content is bought and paid for. Although I guess with what journalism has become in the last 10 years, maybe
Maybe that is the standard now.
maybe it is.
But that's such a shitty thought.
But the thing is though is that like I don't want to be a part of that cycle. I think that comes from trying to be a part of that cycle and not getting anything out of it from the 11 show. Or getting very little out of it, Like for as much contorting as we did to make apologies for Square Enix for Final Fantasy XI and in the old days of Limit Break Radio, we didn't get enough out of it that justifies that level of excuse mongering. I can't do that. I can't do that to our
We're doing the
audience.
fans a disservice. At that
And they're
point.
smart enough to know.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
like,
no.
there was, I don't know who it was in the chat, but there was someone today I saw, like, they were like, I officially love this show for saying the truth about what this game is right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
They know.
Yeah, like, people hear, like, when people hear other shows apologizing for the lack of content or the delays or the unsatisfying content, they pick up on it. They pick up on how disingenuous it is, and how shilly it is.
Mm-hmm.
We used to get called out on that a lot. It used to make me feel uncomfortable because I was like, I'm just trying to do a show that I think is good. But you know what?
I think part of you agreed with it. You agreed with that.
Yeah,
And calling you out, you're like,
totally.
you're right, I am shilling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. No one likes, like, and you know what the issue is? It's so easy to do it without realizing that you are.
That's true.
You get on the air and you've got this game that you love and you want it to be good too and you want it to succeed and you want to contribute any way you can to make it succeed, and to the point where you start, even if you gotta fudge the truth a bit to do it. I feel like it's easy to get there without realizing it.
Yeah, and I mean, especially for a show like ours that is so heavily dependent on the success of the game that we're talking about.
Yeah, you really don't want it, like, you don't want, if you talk to the game into failure, you're like, well, just shot myself in the foot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we just ruined our own product. Good job, assholes. Like, no, that's again, we talked about this on the show. That's clearly not what we advocate for.
Right.
We're advocating for making the game better so more people come in, so our product grows.
Exactly.
Yeah, if we get up 10 million subs in the game, that's potentially 50,000 downloads for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I think, and again, you know, it goes to kind of our review of Metal Gear Solid from the Final Encounter cast episode. You know, that's the best example I can point to of me wanting something to be good. You know, like there's no more game. The two game series I'm invested in the most are Final Fantasy and Metal Gear Solid, far and beyond anything else. And if there was anything that I was going to cut a break or give any slack to, it would be Metal Gear Solid. And to get the game that we did, I couldn't just say, just buy it. It's a 10 out of 10. I just can't. So many different fucking review houses did that. So fucking many.
And it's disappointing how close it was to being a 10 out of 10.
How much it could have been a 10 out of 10 if they gave it the time. It's easily, that game is in my book, a 5 out of 10 and not a spotlight in the series because of what it could have been.
Yep.
Wow.
That is a game that
Put that on Metacritic.
Yeah, that is a game that is just the definition of like 6 months development time. That's what it needed. 6 months more.
Needed maybe another year.
I think
Another
a year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were able to put enough polish on what they had and put it out, but I think that, I mean, honestly, I don't think that Mission 51 was the only thing that they caught.
Probably not.
I think that there was a lot more content that they had planned out that was supposed to unfold and connect more parts of the series overall that never even made it to the concept art stages because Konami was just there cracking the whip the whole time. And that's a strange environment for someone like Kojima to work under, I think.
Any creative mind.
Because I mean, like, I feel like, you know, like, what happened to, like, and I know it kind of got to be a joke, but like things like, you know, Duke Nukem Forever, like there were games that would be pushed back and delayed, and now like it's almost like a sin to show a trailer of something and then move the release date.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, and I don't think it needs to be like that. I mean, honestly, if Kojima said he needed another year, I would have said, fine, fuck it, have another year.
Make the game right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, sometimes that comes down to someone like Kojima who has the cachet and has earned that trust where you're saying, okay, take your year, make it right. Whereas if it's someone putting out, like, by the time we're talking about Duke Nukem Forever, that game touched like 7 different studios by the end of it, to where we're like, dude, if you guys come out and say you're delaying this, fuck off.
I mean, it's
10 years.
They're not quite analogous, and I just even Metal Gear Solid 4 went through quite a few delays because they wanted to polish things and make things right, and that game was still heavily flawed, but it was, I think, a fully realized vision that Kojima had. I mean, I think that its internal plot structure was at least complete. It didn't. It didn't leave me feeling like MGS5 left me feeling.
Yeah.
Like totally.
And again, I think it comes down to
Disappointed.
has that studio or has that game maker developed the cachet to get that benefit of the doubt from you, to get your trust that when they say, you know what, I need another year to make this right, that you'll give it to them. I think there's a lot of game studios out there who, if they're working on a game, their fans aren't willing to give them that because they haven't earned it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a degree of truth to that. Although,
But
I think you're right that like Kojima definitely carried his own special clout.
Yeah.
That other developers and other studios do not have.
is there really any other studios that have that? Because Yoshi P made Magic with 1.0 into 2.0, and even now we're like saying 7 weeks. That's way too long. What the hell are you doing with your time?
I think it's different in an MMO when you're paying
totally
monthly.
different. Yeah, when you're paying monthly and it's a progressive product.
If Yoshi came out and said, you know what, we had to take a break. We're not up to stuff with it. It's going to be an 8-week delay, but you don't have to pay your thing for the next 2 months. I don't think we'd be sitting here having this conversation.
I think that's actually one of the probably understated tragedies of the whole MGS5 debacle is that you're right. There is really no team that was still intact like Kojima Studios was, that was able to really carry that kind of clout with their own audience. I mean, you know, you think about big heavy hitters in the in the gaming industry. I mean, dude, Team Ninja's not the same people it was when they were making great fucking games.
Your issue is that so many of the big famous titles end up nowadays getting taken away from their development studio and put to a different, cheaper development studio. Look at no further than Halo. I mean, Bungie literally was replaced wholesale.
Yeah, and I mean, you know,
343 Studios took over.
And again, like, who's the standout name in Bungie that you can name? I mean, I'm sure that people who
I'm past
really
my days of knowing
Bungie,
game developers by name.
Gabe
Newell is,
but like,
Gabe Newell.
no one is out there like stoking a clear vision for what video games should be in no one's an auteur in the video game industry. Kojima may have been one of the last true auteurs in the video game industry, and to lose that studio and to effectively just disband the studio. I mean, Kojima's future in the gaming industry overall is questionable. Who knows what he's going to do next?
That is in the gaming industry. He could go do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he could, and I hope he goes and he makes movies. To be honest,
he could do that.
I hope he makes a whole bunch of movies and has a really successful career as a director, because I know how into making movies he is. But I honestly don't stop making video games. It's not an industry that has been kind to you. No. If I got a chance to talk to Kojima, I would be like, dude, if I were you, I'd hold a huge grudge, man. I would. I don't know how you couldn't.
I would say it's an industry not only has not been kind to him, it hasn't been kind to his breed of game developer in 20 years.
Absolutely.
When's the last time someone like that was treated well by the gaming industry? It's been forever.
I mean, Kojima was like the last holdout.
Yeah.
And even Konami was like, no, fuck you, we'll shit all over you. We don't give a shit. All of the gaming world, he's like one of the last true kind of legends of the gaming world. I mean, there's a few others out there, but there's not many. And
most of them have gone on. Most of them have taken to running their own companies now. You look at people some of the well-known names, so Ken Levine. He got sick of that same shit, and it's like they wanted him to rush out another BioShock sequel, and he said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And he took his ball and left.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And how does that's disappointing to have talent being driven out of the industry by the industry practices itself. That's fucking disappointing. And I mean,
you get people like that who've made these series that they care about and they're defined by this series. Mm-hmm. It would be if Limit Break Radio was run by somebody and they said, okay, here's the deal, guys. No more show prep time, and you're gonna put out 5 episodes a week. We'd be like, fuck you.
Right. Yeah.
If we were being forced into a situation where we were the only way we could do it is if we put out a product we didn't believe in,
right,
we'd tell them to fuck off and we wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And I mean, all of this is so, it plays into the whole SAG-AFTRA thing, the proposed strike that's going on. And, I just think that the games industry, for how much money it makes, that it has not...
Super toxic?
It has not invested in talent.
No.
In the way that it should have.
You're either going to see a decline or a big revolution at some point. You're going to see something change the game industry, or you're going to see it start to recede. Because what they're going to...
I think we're already starting to see AAA titles starting to recede.
Oh, yeah.
Mobile
gaming.
Yeah. And so many people are moving to mobile gaming, and how many fucking people have been lighting you guys up about Final Fantasy Grandmasters? A game that's not even in our native language yet, that is a fucking mobile game, and look at how many fucking people in our own community are being distracted by it.
Mm-hmm.
You put the theme on it, you put the Final Fantasy wraparound on it, and suddenly people are fucking hitting that microtrans button.
Final Fantasy is a powerful name.
It really is.
It's true. It's powerful.
It really is.
You can put it on a lot of shit and it flies. It's unfortunate. I don't even know if it's unfortunate. I mean, that's not the word for it. It's just...
If it came at the expense of developing AAA Final Fantasy titles, it absolutely would be unfortunate.
I don't think it does, per se.
Not with Square Enix. No, Square Enix is a large enough company where they can diversify their content like that, and I'm not worried about it.
They're also not afraid to, like, shop out something that they don't want to do. Like,
That's true,
like,
too.
You know what, we're working on other shit, you guys handle this.
That's true, too. Yeah, they have a lot of resources at their disposal to be able to develop stuff like that. So I don't worry about it so much from Square Enix's end, but I do worry about the attractiveness of the cash grab aspect for other gaming companies and how much they would want to capitalize on that. Konami is a perfect example of that, divesting a lot of their resources from AAA game titles to pachinko and mobile development. So,
yeah, it is a shame. I don't like that trend. I don't like seeing that shit, and it does make you worry for the industry that, you know, we invested so much of our life into.
Yeah.
I would love to see another renaissance of gaming, which part of me believes is on the way. When I see shit like these like Kickstarter games taking off and being popular, you do see the potential for another renaissance in gaming. The potential's there. Will the AAA studios crush it? Possibly. But I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying the potential is there.
I know. It's just, it feels like every Kickstarter game that has been, you know, progressing has been also really disappointing.
You know, although, like, I know I talked a little bit about Mighty Number 9 with that.
Yeah.
At first, that was the response. The more I see people talk about it now, they seem to be spinning a more positive light on it. So I don't know if maybe something got changed about it, but I'll look into
I
it.
mean, it is a demo. I mean,
it was a demo. At the
like
end of
I
the
said,
day,
though, I mean, it's just like Kickstarter can only take you so far.
Sure.
You know, like you'll never. I don't think you'll ever be able to have a AAA title. You know, Kickstarter AAA title.
No.
You know, you can't. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't be able to cull the kind of resources and assets that you need for a AAA game like that.
We're not pulling $80 million off Kickstarter. Not happening.
Can't.
But that said, like,
it's a nice thought. It's a good dream, and you know, like crowdfunding has its place. I think it's perfect for, you know, like what we do. I don't see it being a sustainable way forward for gaming, though.
No, but what Kickstarter is to me is that it's your chance to get your foot in the door. Like when you see things like, it is the modern day equivalent of how Portal would have gotten started with Valve.
Okay, I mean that's and I mean I guess that's fair. It's just like with modding, you have tons of assets that are kind of at your disposal, and then when you're making a game from scratch, like I guess I you know, it concerns me that, you know, it just doesn't seem like the same amount of thought is even being put into it. Like this, you know, like modders, something that comes out like Portal that's organic, that comes out of like, you know, modding Half-Life 2.
It was a summer college project.
Right.
That's all Portal was originally.
Right. Like, I feel like, I don't know, had that been kickstarted, would it have been as compelling?
The reason, I mean, it worked out great because it was an original concept for a puzzle game that, you know, Valve saw it and said, hey, we need something else to throw in the orange box, here's money, clean it up, make it look nice. Mm-hmm. And that's what Portal was.
Right. But I don't know that same level, just because of the price tag that's attached to developing a game with all of the necessary assets to make it look fantastic, right? Like, unless you're licensing something out, unless you're licensing assets out, much like a modder or a modding community uses the engine of a game or the assets of a game.
Pull the Unreal Engine or something.
Exactly, right. It takes a lot more time and development resources and money to be able to do that from the ground up than it does to be able to license it. But all of that takes money. Whether you're going to license the engine, like you've still got to do that, and that's a huge overhead. And I just don't think that crowdfunding works for what we do, because we're kind of like an organic thing that, you know, we're an organic product that keeps coming out each week. We can continue to evolve the show and change as per the needs of our audience. But something like a video game requires such a huge, massive amount of overhead, and that you would have to do fundraising on a gigundous level. Like, you would need kind of like what Shenmue had with PlayStation
Right.
giving you a moment at E3 to be able to fund it. You know what I mean? Like,
And even then, it had the IP of Shenmue backing it,
Right.
which was 10 years of repressed retro gamer nerds that wanted it so bad.
that's
Yep.
true.
It's true.
That's
If
very
we were gonna say, okay, we want to make this game that's a brand new IP,
That's a spiritual successor to Shenmue.
yeah, it wouldn't nearly got half that.
No,
much
you're right. It wouldn't have gotten a quarter of what it got.
So,
You're right. It's a tough weird spot to be in, and I only think that indie games appeal to a limited section of.
It's like movies.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, indie movies only appeal to a limited section of people. Other people are happy to take their sequels.
Yeah.
They're happy to take their Hollywood blockbusters and their sequels. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a lot of the Hollywood blockbusters and sequels and whatnot. A lot of them are great, but like, it's hard. It's so hard to get an original idea through the machine right now in Hollywood. That like, there's so much potential for new ideas and movies that we could be exploring, but they'll never happen because they're expensive.
Yeah.
And if they fail, you lose a ton of money.
there's too much risk.
And then, these other things have built-in audiences ready to go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's why I think that we'll start to see a regurgitation of very popular gaming IPs make their way through popular culture and movies and TV shows, much like the way that comic books are right now.
I could see that.
Yeah. So, because they have built-in pre-established audiences.
Yep. There's a value to it.
Yeah.
You're going to see a new run of D&D games here pretty quick, because the all the licenses for Wizards of the Coast licensing out D&D are about to expire, and they're going to sell them to new game companies.
Interesting.
So get yourself ready for a Neverwinter game being announced pretty quick here. I guarantee it, because that license is about to expire.
All
Are
right.
we good? That was a long post show.
I think that'll do it for Final Encounter
For
Guest
Final
number
Encounter.
4. Any closing thoughts on kickstarting gaming industry?
No,
I think we about covered it.
if you haven't yet listened to the interview I did with UFF, as well as the look back and like days of LVR,
It's really good.
it's fun. We had a fun time. All right, thanks guys. Thank you for your support on Patreon, as well as thanks for tuning in to this video. So we'll catch you next time, and we'll see you next time.
See you. Bye.